everybody, this is Amy. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I paint a floral spray on this glass vase. It is something that I actually paint on, wipe off after I do my videos to be able to do another design on for you. So if you see any extra paint on here or whatnot, that's the reason. Alright, today I'm going to be painting this design for you. It's going to be in blue. The brushes that I'm going to be using are two number 12 flat brushes, and then I'm also going to be using a dotting stylus to put detail into the center of the flowers. On this one I'm going to get started with actually painting some of the main leaves first. Typically I just do the flower part and then add the leaves. And we'll go ahead and get started here. I'm going to be using Moon Yellow, Thicket, Cerulean Blue, Hydrangea, Cinnamon, and the Fresh Foliage, and also one other paint, which is I've never used this color before, but it's Dove Gray. Love it. Anyways, this is the mixture of folk art enamels and folk art multi-surface paints. Again, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am basically just getting my flat brush ready to go. I am using the Thicket, the Fresh Foliage, and I'm tipping my brush into the Moon Yellow. Alright, and I'm just doing some blending strokes. Now, the leaves I'm painting on here are just going to be flat-sided and no ruffling on them. I'm just pulling them, putting a tip, and then coming back down. Placement wise, I'm just going to sporadically place them. Yeah, I always do a design in advance just to get a design painted, and then I will put my design actually on the glass, but it's not always identical to what I painted. It's just an idea of what can be painted, I guess, basically, just to show you and give me some ideas when I'm painting it on the glass. Again, this is a spray of flowers, so I'm just going to be sporadically placing these leaves in different positions all over the front part of the glass. If I were to paint this as a piece that I would be selling or gifting, I would paint my design all over the piece. I would not just do the front of it, because if you're to put a candle in it or have it sitting on a table for a centerpiece, how pretty would it be to be able to see the design all the way around? I think that would make it very pretty, not just having it on the front. Now if you're sitting on a shelf, maybe so, because you wouldn't actually see the whole piece unless you're lighting it. I think that still would give off some nice ambiance if you're adding some lights to it. Now when you're doing your painted glass, it's very important that you clean your glass with soap and water, clear it off with some rubbing alcohol, and then give it a chance to dry, and then start painting on your glass. You don't have to do any other prep on it at all. Just go ahead. If you're using the folk art enamels or the folk art multi-surface, there's no other preparation needed, just so you know, because a lot of people will ask that question, do I need to do anything else? Because on some types of paint you really do need to do your homework and make sure that it doesn't need something else done to it for preparation. Because I know there was one brand, and I can't remember if it was Delta. I don't remember. And I think it did need to have some preparation to the glass. Something needed to be added to it before you could paint over it. Just for better adhesion, I'm sure. I don't think it required baking though, if I remember right. I never used it, so that's why I'm not really sure. But anyways, there's always something new coming out on the market as far as glass paints go. So make sure you read what the manufacturer has put on the bottle. That's very important. And that way, you know, you're following their directions. I know with the folk art enamels and multi-surface, you can cure them by air drying. 21 days. Now, it doesn't mean it's not going to be dry to touch. It's just not going to be fully cured. So that, you know, you really, if you're going to be using the piece, I would definitely recommend hand washing, you know, drying. Just be careful with the items so that you don't mess up the paint. And I'm just putting in all the greeneries right now, using the flat brush. I'm not using any other kind of brush with it. If you're not happy with just, you know, drawing, basically that's what I feel like I'm doing, is just drawing on the greenery, you know, as far as stems and branches and such. Then you can use, you know, your round brush or the script liners, anything you feel comfortable with. Like I said, I've typically always used my flat brush for most of my detailing, so that's what I'm comfortable with. But you don't have to. You don't have to do the same thing. And I apologize, my furnace is getting ready to start again. I try to get my painting videos done before it does that, but I don't always seem to make it. So anyhow, I'm just randomly putting some little branches in the green still in different places. I am going to hit this with a hairdryer before I start painting on the flowers. Okay, so I have hit it with the hairdryer, or actually I didn't use a hairdryer, I used the heat gun, but you can use a heat gun, hairdryer, whatever you have available to you. Now, on my sample that I did these flowers all the same as far as the way the colors were, with the darker color on the outside and the lighter color on the inside. Once I was doing that, I thought, you know, it might have been nice to have rotated this a little bit and put, kind of, you know, made them a little bit different. But you're just basically going to be doing a 5-petal flower. And you can, I mean, if you don't want to do all 5 petals, you want to vary it a little bit, that's fine too. But I think with what I'm going to do is maybe vary the colors a little bit as far as, I don't know if you can see this, as far as lighter and darker. Like I said, with this one you could leave that open if you wanted to maybe draw a stem to it. I am basically just tipping my paint into the blues and then doing a blending stroke with the 2 colors and then tipping into the 3rd. Hopefully you get the gist of what I'm referencing here. Now on this one, this is what I'm talking about. I'm going to turn it this way and have some of the lighter edges coming out as opposed to all of them being like this one. If you get too much paint on your brush, just scrape it off. You have a towel, you know, put it on that towel, scrape it out, paper towel, whatever you're using. And I am kind of butting them up against each other and not giving like a big break between the 2, or between the leaves, not the 2, but between the leaves, because I'm just, with the center, just going to be tapping it with dots. So that's the reason I don't want the center to be really open. Alright, so let's keep going here. I've got a lot of painting to do. Lots and lots of painting. I'll try to do it as quickly as I can so that it's not drawn out. Now I did still, even though I hit this with a dryer, I did still pull some green from the bottom, which that's okay. I don't mind that. As I say, if you mind it, then make sure you dry it even better, give it some more drying time. I think it's fine. Again, I'm going to scrape my brush a little bit here. Tip it in. And down here, now you could do this too, where you do like part of it light. And I'm just pushing, just wiggling it just a smidge, not a lot. And go ahead and pull it around like this. And then I can flip my brush and do some darker. Isn't that pretty? And it's just a matter of how you want to do it. It's fine to do them all one color, one direction, but then if you do something like that, then it just maybe adds a little bit more to it. Alright, I'm going to try not to hit it on my paper here, but I'm going to go in here and start working on putting some flowers actually on the greenery, because it should be really full of the flowers. But if it's not, then that's fine too. Like I said, I give you creative freedom here, to paint yours the way you choose. You definitely do not have to do it the way I'm doing it. Now I'm going to do a little bit lighter up here. The other one I did all light, as you see. And you don't even have to do the full amount of leaves if you don't want. And you can, overlap them. And do some like that. See, I kind of like them mixed with the different colors. Now I can do it like this, where I've got the darker on the top. If you want to pay attention to where this light source is coming from, you can do that too. I'm not really doing it in that manner, so I'm not really paying attention to the light source at all. But I'm just trying to get a lot of the greenery, covered up, not completely covered up. I want to be able to still see it, but you get the gist that the leaves are behind it, and you can always add more leaves if you wish as you get through this. I hope you like this. If you are new, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you are have any comments or questions that you want to share, please post those down below. I'm always open to any suggestions, or if there's anything in particular you'd like to see me paint, please let me know. I'm going to go over here now, add some flowers here, just very simple design. And that's my goal, is to make things simple so that you feel comfortable painting and trying it. Because you never know unless you give it a try if it's something that you're good at. Great way to relax if you have a lot of stress. Awesome way to relax. And I know a lot of people try to find outlets for that besides drinking. Definitely recommend painting. And I did kind of put my arm, oops, I'm doing it over here too. Dagnabbit. Okay, so I have to be careful because I am rolling this around and messing up my paint. As I say, don't do as I do. Don't do that. If you're somebody like me, just be careful. You can always kind of fix it like I'm doing here. It's no big deal. I always have that opportunity, I guess. Okay, but I think it's so pretty. The blues are so pretty together. So pretty. And like I said, I'm going to turn this because I do want to do some different colors. I don't want them all to be the same. Let me go over them again if you're not happy with the way they ended. Like that. Isn't that pretty? Love it. Wish I would have thought about that when I was actually painting my sample. And I didn't think about it till the end. And it was too late. Like I said, it doesn't have to be real elaborate. You know, and if you're someone who's more experienced, you can make it more elaborate if you choose to do so. That's fine. But for me, I'm just trying to make them simple so that people will give it a try, as I said before. When somebody looks at something and says, oh, I can't do that, it's like, hey, how do you know? Give it a try. You might surprise yourself, right? If you do attempt any of my designs, I would love to see your work. Please post it. I have my Facebook page link on my video, underneath my video. Or videos, I should say, because I have more than one. But I would love to see what you come up with. I don't know if you've ever been to one of those canvas painting nights, but if you notice, even though it's a similar design, everybody has their own little twist. I love it. I mean, it's perfect. Because I think that's the way it should be. I know some people get caught up in, well, you're not doing it the right way. Well, what's the right way? Why do I have to do it the same way you're doing it? I don't. I really don't. And that's why I always welcome. Put your own twist in things. Please. I'm getting kind of heavy with the paint again. Like that. Okay, well, I think I'm done with actually adding the floral part. So what I'm going to do is take the bigger part of the ball on this stylus, and I'm going to just dot the centers ever so gently, because like this one's still kind of wet, so I don't think it's going to pounce very well, but I'll do my best. Yeah, if you end up with a bunch of paint in the center, a lot of times those don't dot very well. You might need to give it some more drying time. But for the purpose of my video, I am going to just proceed. And if I get a little blue in it, I get a little blue in it. Not biggie. Not a big deal. Some of them probably will be bigger than others. Now, once you're finished painting, when it comes to using the folk art paint, you should allow an hour dry time before you would attempt to bake any of the painted glass. So if you bake it, if you're going to bake your piece, so like something like this, you wouldn't necessarily have to. If you're doing wine glasses, unless the design is really, really thick, I would definitely recommend baking it. Just gives it more durability when you bake the glass, from what I'm understanding. Or bake the glass paint, I should say. Alright, so I did the single dot. What I'm going to go ahead and do now is just go through and just put some dots around the center. Just giving it a little more oomph than just having single dots in the center. You could take a liner and actually pull some veining down into the flower petals. I'm not going to do that with this one. I'm just going to do like I'm doing right now with the dots. I think those are cute. I think between the fact that I did the different colors, arranged the colors differently from one to the other, I think that has given it some more character. Definitely prettier than just having all the same color. But if you like all the same color, that's fine too. The dots that I'm putting around here do not have to be the same size. They can just be randomly placed. If you're somebody that's hooked on to things being perfect, just take my designs and do what you need to do, because mine are not going to be perfect, and I'm not even, honestly, not even trying to make them as such. That's not how I roll. Unfortunately, I guess for some, that's not how I work. And you could even add some white. I didn't add any white into this design. You could add white. You can also, if you want, I like it, I think it's beautiful the way it is right now. But I could also come back in here, since I got all the leaves kind of underneath, I could come back in and maybe add some of my basic, what's happening here, my basic leaves like these. My brush is too gunked up. Just adding some of these in where space warrants. But I don't have to. I think it's pretty without it, honestly. I'm just showing you, what you can do. You can mix flowers, or not flowers, but leaves. You can mix flowers too, actually, but mix the leaves a little bit so that they're different colors even. That's nice. I want to try to start practicing maybe doing some different colored leaves, because I know when you do the watercolor, a lot of times they do a lot of different colored leaves, and they're so pretty. They're just gorgeous. Alright, I am not going to keep going here. I'm going to leave it as such. Again, I think it's beautiful. Hope you do too. If you like this video, remember to give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell. When you're done viewing the video, there's also a button at the bottom for sharing. If you would share this on your network, your social networks with your family and friends, I would be so grateful. I'd appreciate it. I do appreciate you taking your time to stop by my channel, view my videos. Hope you'll stick around and view some more. But until the next time, you have a good one.